How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another episode of Previously in DBS, where I go over the week's news all in one tasty nugget video so you can see it all in one place rather than scattered throughout the week. So, as continuing from last time, as you saw in the last one, we've been getting the set 15 spoilers now. So you started off with red, and Bandai even gave out the announcement of how they're going to do it. So it's going to be red first, then black and yellow, then blue, and then green and multicolor after that. And it started last Saturday, and we saw a lot of the red stuff, and then we got the rest of the red stuff, and we started this weekend with some of the black spoilers. And hopefully, I'm not sure if we got all the black spoilers, because there's quite a few of them, but I'm not sure if it's all of them, because normally black does not get as many cards as the rest. And we should hopefully be getting, we then got to get all the yellow spoilers in the next Monday to Friday. So, continue on. Let's go into the spoilers we got this week. All news and information DBS. So first we got some more, I never look at more Red Broly support. So, the Red Broly theme has a unison, being Dark Broly Resonant Obliteration, which is a specified cost 2 red 15k unison with 2 mark skills and a permanent. Permanent being if you have 3 or more red extra cards and you drop, is a double striker. It's very powerful, and it's an SR as well, so it might be going to be a good pickup. And it has very good activate main for the deck because as we've seen, the Red Broly deck revolves around using extra cards and stuff. So it's an activate main where you look at the top 5 cards at the top of your deck. I look at the 5 cards on top of your deck, and up to 1 red extra card with activate banner skill, and then shuffle 3 or less among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. It's not mono red, so that's quite cool. You can look for things like combination attack and stuff, and it's nice just getting you advantage. It doesn't draw your card, but it looks at the things that you actually do want in this deck. And then it's got a -2, which is an auto, where when your opponent attacks with a battle card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 30k power for the turn. Minus 3000 power for the turn for each red extra card in your drop area. So that effect can minus something quite a bit, but it doesn't go for a barrier. So I don't think you're going to be triggering this much, but it might come up in certain situations. And then looking at when we were looking at the leader, so with the leader, it has a permanent which says you can only have Broly. You can't have battle cards in your deck unless they are Broly battle cards, and that's just normal Broly, OG Broly, not Broly BR. So we were wondering if the deck is going to get a super combo, and lo and behold, we've been revealed that there's a Broly super combo for red in the set, being SS Broly Wicked Attacker, 2 cost 15k battle card, super combo, and it's a Sparking 5/1. So Sparking 5, if your leader is red, when this guy uses the combo, draw 1 card. And it's very easy to get Sparking 5 in this because you're dropping with the leader an extra card every time it attacks, draw 2 cards. You whatever cards that put things in the drop from your hand, and you can be using a lot of extra cards which go straight to the drop. So it's easy enough to fulfill this condition, and it means the deck is not without super combo. Because I think they learned from Frieza Prison that you don't want to have a deck without a super combo. And then we have a look at another Broly battle card, being SS Broly Finishing the Job, a 4 cost 16k battle card, with 2 skills, 2 autos. First one being a limit 1, meaning you could only activate the skill across all copies of the card in a turn, and it costs 1 red. And if your leader card is a red Broly card, when you activate the activate battle skill on a red extra card with an original cost of 3 or more from your hand or drop area, play this card from your hand. So you can play it out for 1 red quite easily once a turn. And then there's other autos. When it attacks, you choose 1 or 2 effects. You either choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it minus 10k it for the turn, or you choose up to 1 of your opponent's unisons and minus 15k for the turn. Now that second one is very strong, so there's quite a few unisons that are 15k, or even then if this is a higher one, like you get some 20k unisons, but minus it down to 15 so you can attack over it. Easy enough, it's very strong. And even then, it's a free minus 10k on a battle card when you swing. Means with Frieza's Death Ball, you can minus 20k and put a lot of pressure in a 31k battle card, which is really strong. So that's it for those ones. And then we have a look at the demonic Playtime, or the demonic trio of extra cards for Broly. So the first one we got is Demonic Barrier. They all have the same permanent as well, just to save me going over that, where if your leader card is a red Broly card, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2, so it's a free cost, free original cost, but it becomes a 1 cost if your leader's a red Broly. So Demonic Barrier has an activate battle, well, they all have activate battle skills, and for this one skill, it's if your leader card has 15k power or less as the cost, choose up to one of your cards, it gets 5000 power for the turn, and additionally, if that card is a Broly card, it also gains critical for the turn, so that's very nice. So the only card that we can see so far from the stuff revealed is the one drop you're not going to be using on, but the leader you can use on, but you got to remember, your leader has to be 15k power, so if you awaken, you got to use this before you use any of these other skills that give it a power boost. Otherwise, you can't use it on them. And then we have Demonic Blitz, which is a counter attack, limit 1. You get the attack and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 10k power for the turn. So that's pretty cool. A 1 cost negate that you can only use once a turn. That also minus 10k stuffing. And then activate battle, choose up to one of your cards, and it gets plus 10,000 power for the battle. And it's nice it says cards that allows you to interact with give your unisons a boost as well. Especially since this unison for this deck can gain double strike, which is quite nice. And then we have the last one, Demonic Playtime. So this activate battle skills a limit 1, where you draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your red cards, and it gains 10,000 power for the battle. And additionally, if that card is a Broly card, it also gains double strike for the battle. So that's very, very strong. That is really good. Just any it could be any Broly cards, and it's nice. It's like a pseudo super combo, where you're only paying for 1 energy. You get a 10k boost plus draw 1, like we had with the Cell and Red Goku cards. But this is one you're going to be using less defensively and more offensively. And it's nice that if you chuck it on your leader with Demonic Barrier, you can get at least a 30k base double strike crit leader swing. Without you can do it for free for 1 energy if you use one of them. Use the Demonic Barrier from drop first, using the leader's awakened auto, or you can just pay 2 energy and add something else from your leader's effect to give your leader a lot of pressure. So it reminds me a bit more like the leader specific focus, where you have like the old Son Gohan, but this is a lot less oppressive than the old Son Gohan, where you got triple strike with a boost being 25k boost, and then chucked on another 10 or 15k with a critical as well. So it's not as aggressive as that, but it's quite interesting to say the least. Then we have 2 more red Broly extra cards, because as we saw, the leader is a extra card focused deck. We have the Demon Cometh, which has 2 activate main skills. The first one, if your leader card is a mono red Saiyan card and you choose 1 red extra card in your hand and discard it, you draw 2 cards. So it's like a Destiny draw kind of thing. Just play it for 1, discard an extra card, draw 2 cards, and you've got 2 set up in the drop. And then for turn 2, if you swing with your leader, then turn 2, if you play the unison and swing with your leader, you now have the if you play this turn 1, you now have the free and drop to give the unison double strike. And then it's got effect that activates in the grave, which is activate main limit 1. If your leader card is a red Broly card, you choose 1 card from your hand and discard it. You can send this card from your drop area to your warp, play it to 1 red Broly card with energy cost of 1 from your deck, then shuffle your deck. Unfortunately, this doesn't really on the 2 1-drop Broly's we do have, the red ones, which is the Crown of Retribution and the one from the set that can then pay for 2 to play out a 4-drop from the deck. Neither of them get the skills from the played from anywhere except the hand, and since it's played from the deck, you're not going to get the draw or look at your opponent's hand effects. So I'm not sure how well this would be for that effect, but the first activate main is very strong and a very good one to help set up your drop to fulfill the, I think, 7 you need in drop for the leader's awakened side. And then we have Gigantic Meteor, another SR for the archetype, which is a original free cost, same permanent as the other ones has. So if your leader's a mono red, but instead of a Broly card, as if your leader card is a mono red Saiyan card, which is energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So in any mono red Saiyan deck, this is the 1-drop, not just in Broly. And its activate battle skill is limit 1. Choose 1 of 2 options. You can either, if it's your turn, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards up to a total power of 30k or less and KO them. That's interesting. That is not reduced power, it's KO instead. But then it is Broly. Or you can choose it to one of your leader cards or unison cards, and it gets 15k power for it, and has the skills to get for the battle. Additionally, if your leader card is a Broly card, the chosen card gets an additional 10k power for the battle. So that's pretty nice. Now, if your leader's a Broly, you get a 25k power boost, but you lose the skills on your leader for that battle. So as we saw with the other ones where you can give the leader crit or double strike, if you do this as well, they're not having double strike or crit. But still, 25k for a 1 energy, or for free with the leader card swing, is really strong. And then we have some of the red Goten stuff. So we've got a lot of red Broly. Now we get to the more casual side of the red stuff in this set with the red Goten. So first one we have is on Goten Journey's Beginning. One cost 5k. Also, when this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and add to 1 red Saiyan with energy cost of 3 or less, or 1 red Unison with a specified cost of 3 or less. Oh, sorry, a specified cost of 3, not 3 or less. Among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So nice searcher for the theme, getting some of your red Saiyans, or even searching for you, like turn 1 searching Unison, so you can potentially play out turn 2. And an SS on Goten, opposing the Demon. 2 cost 15k, but when this card attacks, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, it gets minus 10k for the power for the turn. So this is an interesting card that can go in cube, I feel. I might try, I'm looking at this mostly when I'm going to reveals for more for cube stuff than it is for competitive side. And this would make a good addition for the cube. But it is a decent card in casual, but it costs too much for just a little effect for competitive play. Then we have some Trunks stuff, Trunks cards for the Goten archetype. First one is Trunks Journey's Beginning, this is another version of the many cards we got similar to Kaba, saying Kaba from set 1, where it's a 1 cost 5k with an auto of add 1 card from your life to your hand as the cost, and when this card attacks it gains 10k power and double strike for the turn. So just never on that, and it gives you a bit more options in the fact of its character and traits, which is quite cool. So this is at least a Saiyan Earthling. So this would be another good addition to cube. And then we have a 1 cost 10k skillless Trunks as well. Then we go on to the Goten and Videl stuff. So we got Videl opposing the Demon. This is another 1 cost but 4k. With an auto, when this card is played, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. And you add up to 1 Goten or Trunks Youth with energy cost of 2 or less along the map to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Interesting, there's 2 or less, not 3 or less, but then as we saw in this in the stuff support for this, they are 2 costs or less for the Goten and Trunks. And then we have the activate main of 2 red and 1 of any color. Choose it to 1 red Sungo on choose up to 1 red Sungo on Adolescent Sky without barrier and energy also 4 in your hand and play it, which is mainly going to be this one over here, which we get to. Before we get to that one, we have Speed Rush Sun Gohan. So this is a 3 cost 15k, a counter attack where you need to get the attack and play this card in rest mode, but you're not going to be paid free for it because it was permanent, where during your opponent's turn, reducing the cost of this card in your hand by 1, which is nice. So it's a 2 cost negate, and it does have a nice also, when this card is played, choose 1. You either draw 1 card or choose it to one of your red units and cards and add a marker to it. That's quite nice. Not sure if it's worth paying 2 energy for that, but still, negating an attack, putting a 15k attacker on the board for your next turn, and then replacing it by drawing a card when it's played is very good. Not sure how good for competitive, but in the cube, this is 100% going into the cube. And then we have SS Sun Gohan opposing the Demons. This is the 4 cost, which has the flank, dual attack blocker, a load of skills. And then as an EX evolve for 2 red, if you have a 3 or more energy, red Sun Gohan Adolescent Sky with energy cost of 3 on board, you can fall on top of that, which Speed Rush matches perfectly for that. And its activate main is once per turn. Choose one of your red cards. Choose one of your leader cards or unison cards. Switch to the rest mode. You choose all your opponent's battle cards, and you get minus 10k, 15k power for the turn. So it's not much, 15k. And it is the whole board. It doesn't get through barrier, and some important card. And that doesn't seem worth it for the energy cost as well, in my opinion, competitively. Casually, it could be good, but competitively, it's too high costing to be that viable for red. Then we have some skillless support in there as well, which is quite nice to see, some more red skillless support. First we have another Coco dedicated to the village. The previous one we had was the 1 cost 1 of the set that each color had, where you discard a card, draw a card. This one is when it's played, you add up to 1 Natade Village Ritual from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. So search for this fill card. And this extra card on the card it searches is this fill card here, which is a 2 cost fill card with an auto and activate battle, with the auto of when this card is played in your battle area, and up to 2 skillless monster cards with energy cost of 2 or less from your deck, from your hand, and shuffle your deck. So now this is nice, is a bit of skillless monster support, which can help the Sun Gohan and Higher Dragon deck go red-yellow if you want to, for interesting theme on that. And it's got an activate main of once per turn. You choose 1 Coco card in your battle area and place it at the bottom of your deck. Choose up to 1 skillless monster card with energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it. So that's pretty cool. And the skills cards we have, the skills card we have in this set is Natade. I'm not great with names, as I said before. Natade, Village Monster, Another Monster. Another Monster skill. So it puts 2 red ones, combining this with the, because we also have the one from set 7, which is this set is kind of a reboot of that set in a sense. What we'll see as the spoilers go on. And to go with that, we also have a pretty cool negate as well with Monstrous Encounter, which is a 1-cost red negate, counterattack, where you choose up to 1 skillless monster card in your hand with energy cost of 2 or less and play it in rest mode. If you play the card, it becomes the target of the attack. So that's very nice. You can negate, it doesn't negate the attack, but you can use this to play a skillless, 20k skillless on your board and force your opponent's attack to go to this instead, which is very good. So this would have been nice if we had back when we had VS and things like that, which couldn't have their attacks negated, whereas this at least can just not negate the attack, but played against it and then force them to attack this like a unavoidable blocker in a sense. And then we have some Ever Red support. First one being Raditz On Guard. This seems like something that might be across all colours with different effects. So it's a 1-cost 4k. It's a blocker with an auto. Switch this card to rest mode. When your opponent uses a skill to play a battle card with an energy cost greater than their current energy, you may choose that battle card and have it get minus 15k power for the turn. So that's quite cool. For red, like red's thing is power reduction and stuff like that. And this is a nice one for red. Is shame. Don't know if it would need barrier. Like barrier would be a nice thing for most like small drops. And also if you get multiple of these on board, they stack, so you can minus 30k something, which is quite cool. And I feel like this is something that all colours are going to get. Then we have training Buddy Bubbles, which is a cantrip because it was also, and it being a 1-cost. When this card is played, draw 1. Then it has another auto where for 1, when this card is KO'd by your opponent, you play up to 1 North Kai card from your deck and then shuffle your deck. Now I can't remember the what the barriers mean, so I can't remember if this means character or actual card name. I don't have anything to confirm. I didn't check this beforehand, before doing the video, but I think this it'd be pretty cool. But it depends on what kind of North Kais are around. Like if we're gonna get, because there's no red North Kai in red, as we're gonna go and see. So it'd be interesting to see what North Kai, because some of the old ones aren't great. There's a one that's kind of a cantrip as well. But interesting to see if any other color gets a North Kai. We can use to go with this for like a dual color thing. And then we have Quick Assist Krillin, which is a 2-cost 10k, 1-cost 10k combo, and a blocker with an auto where at the end of a battle, which this guy was using the combo from your hand, play it from your drop in rest mode. That's pretty cool. Not amazing, but pretty cool. And then we have the special rares. So the 2 special rares for red this set is covering the SR Broly we had and the Vidal counterplay. Now this is really good because just like with the 3 counterplays we got in set 10, they were not too difficult to attain because of the fact that they had both an SR version and an SPR version. So they had 2 versions of Get, and there are some people that want to have the highest rarity of it, so click the SPRs, but people that didn't want the SPRs, they still had the SR version to get, so it's easy to get copies because there's more copies released. And it's nice that that's going to be the same case for the set 15 counterplays, because I'm guessing every color is going to get one of these new counterplays. So making it easier for, because as we've seen from the last few sets, things like King Vegeta's in Presents and a Powder Super Saiyan, it hasn't been too difficult for people to get playsets or as many copies as they want of the card to play in their deck, because they had 2 different versions, an SPR and an SR, which is always nice. And same with this Broly, because this Broly's got a bit of hype on it, because it's a very good card for the Broly deck, And there's also something that a lot of people who liked Freezer Prison want to use in Freezer Prison because of the fact that it meets the requirements. It comes down quite early, and fits on the theme of using red extra cards. It comes down quite early as turn 3, and also as well as that, it also allows easier access to drop the SS4 Broly Secret Rare in any deck because it's a perfect target for it, and with Deflect it means it's going to be easier to stop it from being from coming down. So really good choices for SPIs in the set. And then we have the TP promo. So as well as getting all the red spoilers, we also got given the look at what red cards are going to be TP promos to set. Now these aren't amazing, but then it seems Bandai has learned a lesson from when we got 2 sets ago when we got the SS3 Gogeta promo, that cards that powerful should not be in a TP set. They shouldn't be TPs. They should be either in a set or more easily available. And TP promos since then have been watered down. They're not being made be alright, but not be amazing, and not like hard requirements. Because yeah, just 2 sets ago, there are like TP promos that you need a play set of just to play a deck properly. Made it really expensive and made it so some players couldn't play the deck because they couldn't afford the extortionate price on the TP promos. But now we're getting a lot more watered down cards that aren't busted but could be quite good. So first one we got is Raditz Invitation to Battle, which is a free cost 19k. It's a barrier blocker with a permanent of if your opponent has a Saiyan card in play in the battle area, you can reduce the energy cost on this card by 1, so it becomes a 2 cost. Not too bad. And as also when this card is played from your hand, choose up to one Saiyan card with 5,000 power or less in your opponent's battle area and gain control of it. Now I can't see there being as many targets like red. Sure, red does have the ability to minus things down to being stealable this, but then 2 energy, which could be easily counterplayed, just is still something that's got to be at 5k, whereas most things at 5k aren't worth it. Like you can get the Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan, sure, but it can just be killed or stolen back easy enough. And if your deck's having that much of an issue for it, it'd be better just to play instead of this, play the Planet M2 for one energy less to permanently get rid of it instead. Then we have Encounter, which is another card, a TP promo to support the Broly deck, but not massively powerful or required. It has 2 skills, Activate Main and Activate Battle. The Activate Main is a look up to 7 cards from the top of your deck. Add to 1 mono red Videl or Broly card with entry cost of 4 or less among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's a nice searcher for that new Videl counterplay and for 4 cost or less Brolys. And then it has an Activate Battle. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle card. Choose up to one of your opponent's cards, and it gets minus 10,000 power for the battle. So that's quite a nice one because it just says opponent's cards, so it can minus 10k your opponent's leader, unison, or battle card. It's set not through barrier. And the last one, which is the weirdest one, is Get That Monster, which is a 0 cost extra card, and is support for red Shenron. But unfortunately, the annoying thing with red Shenron cards is we only have 1 red Shenron leader, while the other card has at least 2 Shenron wish leaders each. Like black, yellow, blue, and green all have at least 2 wish leaders, whereas red only has 1, and it's a terrible one. But this is not too bad. If we had a better wish leader, this might be a good card, because if it's Activate Battle, limit 1, if your leader card is a red Shenron card, choose one of 2 effects. You either add up to 1 Dragon Ball card from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck, or you add up to 1 Desire card with entry cost of 2, 1 or 2 from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. So this is a nice extra support to awaken quicker for red Shenron, but the red Shenron wish leader is terrible compared to the rest. So we do need an everyone. Bandai, if you're watching, we hope you give us a new red wish leader. So that is it for the red ones. And then, so that was all from starting on Friday, and then from yesterday on to next Friday, we're going to get the black and yellow promo reveals. And this weekend we got the black ones. So first thing we got is a look at the Finn leader. So Finn is a character from Heroes that is a Mahjong created by Toa. Interesting enough, it's supposed to be a Mahjong that was created by Toa, but it doesn't have the Mahjong special trait. It's just an android. So it's Android Mirror, and is a new character from Heroes that we finally have in the game, and has its own leader as well. So on the front side, it's got an auto when its card attached to 1 standard, and then its ever auto is when a card is placed under this card, you draw 1 card and cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left, and flip this card over. So a nice alternate awakening edition. Now from this one we can just see that the focus of the deck is stealing your opponent's cards, which is pretty cool. So something we haven't seen except from really the Boo archetypes, and it does. We'll see as we go through the archetype to see like how interesting it is. It also does have an activate main of once per turn if all your energy is black. Choose, and it doesn't say mono black, just black. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it in this card. So there's no cost restriction, like energy restriction or anything like that, or cost to which is for free. Stealing your opponent's battle cards. If your opponent plays a 1 cost like cantrip in the first turn, you just go activate main, steal it, and then you get to trigger the second auto and flip it over, which is pretty nice. But if you don't do that, its awakening is when your life is 4 or less, you draw 2 cards and flip it over, so defensive awakening. Doing it to its leader's backside, it's got permanent now, 1 auto and activate main. The permanent is this card gets 5,000 power for each card placed under it, and that's just permanent, just during your opponent's turn or your turn. Not during your turn it gets this, just anytime this card's under it, it's got 5k for each one, which is very strong. Since you're going to be stealing something to awaken, hopefully with the alternate awaken, it's going to be 20k base on your opponent on his awakened side. And as an auto of at the end of your turn, play all of the battle cards under this card in your opponent's battle area with the skills negated for the game. Then place all of the cards under this card in their earliest drop areas. So that's pretty cool. So at the end of your turn, you put all battle cards under this card in your opponent's board, and they're skillless for the game. So that's quite interesting. Then it doesn't say in the card controllers area, just in your opponent. So I don't know if you can put your own cards underneath it, they go to your opponent's side skillless. It's interesting. Then we have the activate main once per turn, which I think is similar to the other one, just with a draw, where if your already energy is black, you draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, place it on this card. Then you choose up to 1 keyword skill, or full stop, choose up to 1 keyword skill on a card under this card, and this card gains that skill for the turn. So that's pretty nice. So you can take something with a skill, take any card, and then choose any card that's under, not the one you put under it, but any card under it, and copy a skill from that card to add to your leader. So if you take something with double strike, you now have like at least 5k extra on your lead and double strike skill on your lead as well. That's pretty interesting. And then the unison that comes with it is Skill Hunter Margin Boo. So this is Margin Boo after absorbing Deborah. Yeah, after absorbing Deborah by the looks of it. Set out Deborah. So it's got permanent of your opponent's skillless cards can't attack this card. It's quite interesting. It's a 2 specified black unison as well, which is quite cool. Like we're starting to see more specified black unisons than previously. And it has an auto of once per turn. If it's your turn, when a skillless battle card or unison card is played in your opponent's battle area or unison area, draw 1. So this is nice that it shows that you can get skillless unison cards. So it looks like this archetype's going to interact with unison cards to make him skillless, which is quite interesting. And this means at the end of your turn, after you steal something, you get a draw when you put something when you trigger the leader's auto. Then it's got 2 marker skills, a +1 and -1. +1 is just gets 5k power for the turn, and the -1 is if your leader card is a black thin card, you take one of your opponent's battle cards and place them under your leader. That's quite interesting. So you can put more cards under your leader as well to make it a bit beefy. Then we got some of the Finn cards that come, the Finn battle cards. First one, we've got Finn Union Absorber. That's a nice name. It's interesting to see what its effect is. And they all have a specified cost of 2 black. This is a 2 cost 15k. First auto, because it has 2. 1 black if your opponent has a skillless battle card or unison card in play, which it seems like from the leader, that's going to be a focus of the deck, as well as stealing cards, making their cards skillless. At the end of a battle, once this card is using the combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area in rest mode. So that's cool. You can play it cheaper by comboing it and just paying 1 black. And then the other auto is if your leader card is a black Finn card. When this card is played, you may choose one of your opponent's unison cards and place it under this card. If you do, this card can't be used in the combo this turn. At the end of the turn, play the unison card under this card in your opponent's unison area with 2 markers on it, and its skills negated for the game. So that's really, really, really good. Like, it doesn't have deflect, so the only thing is against blue, this can be stopped from coming down. But any other color, it's just greater. You can just play this, take your opponent's unison, chuck it under this. So if they've got a unison like, the boo unison in blue, it's got 4 markers on it. You play this, take it from their board, put under this card, so now it's not longer an issue to bottom deck your battle cards or block or deal with shenanigans. Do your whole thing of attacking if you want to. At the end of the turn, you put it back on their board with two less markers than it originally had, and it's skillless for the game. Well, all it needs to do is lose a marker to get its skills back, but then you take another 4 cost unison they have on the board, remove it from the board for your turn, put it back with 2 less markers than it had before, and made it just so it's during your turn they can't use the skills in it because it's skillless for the game until they lose a marker from it, and they can't use any minus marker skills to do that. You have to use things like Spirit Boost and stuff. So that's a very cool card, and it's nice that it's locked to just Finn, because it was just generic for any black deck. That would be so good for a hat check, and any black deck, to be honest. Then we have Finn, the All Absorbing, 8 cost 25k with 3 skills. First is an auto, Spirit Boost 1. If your leader card is a black Finn card, when this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards in your environment and place it under your leader card. So that is fantastic. That is a complete board wipe, and if your opponent's got a lot, put more on your leader, and your leader gets a massive power boost for the turn. They're going to be getting them back, but they will be skillless after that. And in fact, Ignore's Barrier is so good. But you're not going to be paying 8 for it because of the activate main for 3 black. If you have 4 more energy and you place this card under your leader card in its owner's drop area, play this card from your hand. So that's interesting. So if you have 4 more energy and you place it, sorry, I misread that. If you have 4 more energy and you place a card under your leader and it's in its drop area, play this card from your hand. I thought it meant this. I was like, how do you put that under your leader? But yeah, that is very good. Just 3 energy once you get to turn 4, which is easy enough in the new format. You get this that board wipes your opponent's board and makes your leader stronger, and then you have this 25k beat stick, which can attack twice because of its activate main once per turn. Place a card under your leader in its owner's drop area, switch this card to active mode, which is easy enough after you swing with your leader. You could be then able to, you want to swing with it first to get that extra 5k from the card that you're about to drop from your leader to be able to reactivate this. It's quite good, really nice for the deck. And there's only a rare, which is quite cool. Then the last we have is an SR for the archetype, being Finn, Coercion Incarnate. It's a deflect 15k 2 cost. If your leader card is black, when this card is played from your hand, your opponent chooses one of the battle cards and you choose the rest of the battle cards and send them to their owner's warp. Now this is interesting, that it's not locked to Finn, just a black leader, and it's almost a board wipe. They get to choose what they want to keep, and it's choosing as well, so it doesn't get through barrier. So if they got which is great, which is good because that'd be completely amazing. But it's still a very strong effect for 2 energy. Then we have some Deborah cards in the set. So the first one we have is Demon God Deborah Skill Hunter. It's a 3 cost 20k with 2 skills. Auto limit 1. When this card attacks, draw 1. That's pretty good. Not for competitive play, but at least for cube, that's amazing. So this is likely going to go in the cube. And an activate main for 1 black. If your opponent has a skillless battle card or a unison card in play, you play this card from your hand. So it's easy enough to deal with the Finn stuff. For 1 energy, drop a 20k that gets you a draw every time it swings. Then we have a 1 cost Deborah, Demonic Defender, and interesting, this center has a 1 specified black. Permanent, if your opponent has a skillless battle card or unison card in play, this card gains barrier and blocker, so nice to get a 1 cost barrier blocker. That is a cantrip, because of when it's played, you draw 1. Pretty cool. Then we have some Toa cards as well. So we've got Skill Hunter Toa, 2 cost 15k, which is a counter attack, Spirit Boost 1, play this card. but you're not going to be paying 2 for it because it's permanent. Or if it's your opponent's turn and they have a skillless battle card, or you just kind of play, use the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. And then it's also as if your leader card is Black Fin. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less and place it under your leader card. So that's quite nice. You can get an attack for 1 energy and take a mark off unison, and then steal one of your opponent's 4 cost or less and put in your leader. That's really cool, really good for your archetype. And then we have Toa Calling the Hordes, which is a 1 cost 4k with 2 skills. First one is an auto where when this card is played, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, and up to 1 black android or demon wild race card with an energy cost of 3 or less, or 1 black unison card with a specified cost of 2 among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So this is very nice for the old Toa deck because they it helps you get more searching, and now you've got specified cost of unisons, and we got unisons now. This is nice support for the old Toa deck. Be able to search a unison or things like the 3-drop Mirror Overwhelm from set 4. And then we got an activate main Spirit Boost 1 for 1 black. If your leader card is a Black Fin card, you place up to 1 card under your leader and it's in its drop area. So it's interesting, why would you do that? But only time will tell if we got more reveals, because at the moment I don't feel like that's great to lose a mark for unison, pay an energy just to drop a card for your opponent's under your leader. But then if you've taken something very big that you want to give back to your opponent, then that might make sense, but it doesn't seem that great. Then we have the last black card for the Fin stuff, being Absorption of Doom, which is a counter attack. If your leader card is a Black Fin card, you get the attack. Additionally, if your opponent has a skillless battle card in play or unison card in play, they can only attack 2 more times for the turn. So that's very good, because you know we've already seen from the leader, after you take something at the end of the turn, you put it back on their board as skillless. And it's got a permanent where if your opponent has 2 or more battle cards in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by choosing whatever black card in your hand and discarding it. So a free play negate that actually negates the attack and limits it so your opponent can only attack 2 more times per turn. So it's like it is kind of like a dormant potential for your for the Fin deck. It's just like dormant potential. 2 attacks go through because the attack is used on goes through, and then they have 1 more attack after it, and that's all the limit to. And with this, with 2 more attacks. And then we've got so that's all for the black stuff for the Fin deck that we got revealed. Next we have some of the Shadow Dragons. So first up is Ice Shenron. So just like with the set 14 ones, they all have a Power of Darkness battle card, a negative energy explosion battle card, and a extra card that's an ultimate version of their best attack. So with Ice Shenron's Power of Darkness, also I'm going to skip some of the autos on here because they all have the auto of when this card, basically, if your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card, when this card is played from your hand or discarded by a Shadow Dragon card skill, you can look at the top card of your deck, and if it's a black Shadow Dragon card, out your hand, otherwise you bottom deck it. They all have this effect, so I'm going to skip this on some autos. So if they have 2 autos, it's going to be this and some other effect. Which the other effect for Ice Shenron Power of Darkness is Auto Burst 1. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card and it's your opponent's turn, when this card is using the combo from your hand, choose up to 1 Shadow Dragon card in your battle area and switch to active mode. So that's nice. And then quite a few cards in the Xeno Shadow Dragon archetype are blockers. So it's nice to combo this, do out combo an attack, and then restand the blocker if you need. Speaking of blockers, the Ice Shenron Negative Energy Explosion is a barrier blocker. Same autos they all have on the battle cards, and then the other autos at the end of your turn switch to card active mode. So you can attack with it, then restand it to block on your opponent's turn. And its ultimate attack, Ultimate Ice Ray. Also, I think all the Shadow Dragon extra cards all have the same permanent of discard against Shadow Dragon in all areas, so they're searchable via the battle card skills when you flip over because they have that tag, just like how the extra card Universe 7 representative in Torrent of Power set also had the permanent giving it the trait of Universe 7. So this is a 2 cost with activate main / battle limit 1. I think all of them have a limit 1, which is quite cool. Like reduce it, you can't just spam multiple of them in the same turn. So with this skill, your opponent places the top card of the deck in their drop area, which is because the deck has a mill aspect to it. And with your leader card deck, I'm using 2, 1 from this, 1 from your leader skill. Additionally, you may choose 2 black cards in your hand and discard them. If you do, your opponent can only attack with battle cards 1 more time for the turn. So that's pretty cool. That's limiting the amount of attacks you have and give an extra mill if you go for that route. So that's all for the Ice Shenron. Next we have Nova Shenron. Once again, has a Power of Darkness card, a Net Energy Explosion, and a ultimate of its main move. So on the Power of Darkness one, it's free cost 20k with critical, the same permanent they all have. And then its other skill is an activate main, limit 1, burst 1. So you have to mill 1, and you can only activate this skill on all copies of the card for the turn. You send this card from your hand to your warp as a cost, and you look up to 5 cards at the top of your deck, and up to 1 Black Shadow Dragon battle card with entry cost of 5 or less among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this is the Xeno Shadow Dragon's version of Oceanus, but instead of discarding it for Oceanus, you warp this one, which is interesting why that's the case, but then that would mean it was a lot easier if it was just sent to discard this and then burst 1. You're fulfilling the alternative weight condition on your leader too easily, but they didn't want that. And it's a nice searcher, and it's one of the SRs of the Xeno Shadow Dragon stuff. Then for its negative energy explosion, it's once again a free cost, but this time with critical, but this time 16k. Same auto as first auto, same as they all have, but its ever auto is if your leader card is a Black Shadow Dragon card. When this card is played, you play it to 1 Tower Resonance of Shadow from your drop area with a marker on it. So that's really cool how you now have a way to recycle the unison from the drop area if you lose it. So that's a good way to recur. And now we're getting the last of the Shadow Dragons. You can finally get a way to pull off the -7 leader and get a full value of it. And then for his ultimate extra card is Ultimate Flame Shot, and also once again a 2 cost with the same permanent. And its activate main battle skill with limit 1 is if your leader card is a Black Shadow Dragon card and you place 1 card from your life in your drop area, place the top card of your opponent's deck in their drop area, and your leader card does not take damage from your opponent's attacks until the end of the battle or the end of the turn, whichever comes first. So this in a sense is a extra card version of Brainwash No More for the Xeno Shadow Dragons, and cheaper as well, because for Brainwash No More you need to discard it from your hand, pay 1 black energy, and crit a life to be able to say you take no damage for that battle. So is really helpful in avoiding the strike skills. Whereas this one is a lot cheaper because the leader has the activate main battle spirit boost skill, whereby removing a marker from your unison, you can play once per turn, play a Shadow Dragon extra card from your hand for free. So this is nice to have this, where if your opponent goes in with like a triple striker, you could just go the skill on your leader, play this, use this for free, crit a life, and you don't take that damage with the triple strike, which is really cool. So that's really nice. So Nova Cherron has some really good cards, like it does in the yellow deck for the Xeno version. And then we have the last of the 7 Shadow Dragons, Raid Shenron, because we got 4 in the last set, and now we have the other 3 in this set. So once again, Power of Darkness, Energy, Negative Energy Explosion, and a ultimate of his ultimate move, of his main move. So the Power of Darkness one is a free cost 14k. Blocker with a counter attack, you get your attack and play this card in rest mode. And it has a permanent where if there are 7 or more Black Shadow Dragon cards in your drop area, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2, make it a 1 cost negate to give yourself a 14k blocker in rest mode. And its auto is the same that all of them have, where it replaces itself, which is really nice. It's a really good theme to this deck, how all the cards can try to replace themselves. And then its negative energy explosion version is a free cost 16k blocker with the same skills they all have, but his ever auto is burst 1 if your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card and it's your opponent's turn. When his card is using a combo from your hand, switch up to 1 of your leader cards to active mode. So it's quite nice if you've got a battle card on your board, you can restand your leader because the leader has blocker, which is interesting. And in his ultimate move, which is Ultimate Electric Slime, is a 1 cost. Same permanent in all of them, with activate main battle, limit 1 skill of choose up to 1 of your black battle cards, and it gets 9,000 power and revenge for the turn. So that's quite cool. but it is interesting. But it's unfortunately not black cards. It's black battle cards. So that'd be cool. That, but then you can't trigger revenge on your leader. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think revenge. I think from the rules now, revenge is not something you can trigger on a leader card. But it's cool that you give it to a battle card because a lot of the things have revenge. And then the last reveals we have for this week are the Omega Shenron Xeno cards. So not only do we get the last 3 Shadow Dragons, we also get some Omega Shenron Xeno cards. So the first, so just like a wall, he gets 2 battle cards and an ultimate extra card of its main move. So the first one is Omega Shenron Darkness Absorbed. It's an 8 cost 30k unique, same auto as they all have, and its activate main skill is for 1 black. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card and you choose 1 black Shadow Dragon card with entry cost of 5 or less in your battle area and place it in the zone's drop area, play this card from your hand, and if you do, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards since the zone's warped. So that's really nice removal, while also getting you a 30k beat stick, so you can be more aggressive with this archetype now, which is quite cool. And then a big finisher, if you want to be even more aggressive, is the second one, the Omega Shenron Ultimate Darkness, which is the SR, never SR for the set. I think there's 3 SRs for this in this set for the Shadow Dragons. Like I think there's either 2 or 3 in the last set as well. So it's a 30k 8 cost with unique and triple strike. Same auto as they all have, where they replace themselves when they're played or discarded. And it's, you're not going to play it for 8 though, like the other one. Well, just like the other one, you go play it for cheaper. Choose its activate main for 2, where 2 black. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card and you have 3 or more energy, and you send 7 black Shadow Dragon cards from your drop area to your warp, which can also, it doesn't specify cards, it just says Shadow Dragon cards. So you can remove extra cards as well if you want to. You play this card from your hand. So when you get 3 more energy, when you get to turn 3, you can drop for 2 energy a 30k triple striker, just like yellow can do as well. That also can replace itself just like the yellow TP1 can. And for the last one we have is ultimate extra card move, which is ultimate minus energy powerball, which has a specified cost of 1 black, which I don't think the other ones did. No, the other ones didn't have a specified cost, but this one does, which is cool. And that's because it's really generic, because of its counter attack. If your leader card is mono black, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less, ignoring barriers since its zone is warp. So that's really nice. That permanent that all of them have, where it gains Shadow Dragon in all areas. And then another permanent where if you have a black unison card in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand but without paying its entry cost. So free play warping of anything that's 15k power or less, which is really nice. But then black doesn't have the option of reducing power on many things, so I'm not sure what good targets there are for this, but yeah, it's quite cool. It's free to play and gives for barrier for a black card. There's ever skill, it's activate main / battle, limit 1, choose up to 1 of your black leader cards or battle cards, it gets 15k power for the turn, until the end of the battle or the end of the turn, whichever comes first. So that's really cool, just for 1 energy, giving any black leader card or battle card 15k power, so you can put this Omega Shenron out to a fit 45k triple striker for just 3 energy, 2 energy to drop it, then 1 energy for this, which is really nice. But that is it for all the spoilers for this week. Thank you for watching. If you have gone all the way through this, it's a bit quicker than it was before for the last one, but we are getting a whole week's worth of spoilers rather than before. It was only, I think it's Monday to Friday I had spoilers, and the weekend they gave us a break. Well, this time it's just every day now. But once again, thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And if you want to keep updated with my videos as soon as they drop. And this is something that I always do every Sunday at the end of the week to show off the week's news in DBS, be it anything European or spoilers from the bandline themselves. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video as well. Bye for now.